Hello, hello. All right, here we go. So today we're going to talk about know who you are, know what you want. As real estate investors, you need to have an investor identity. Right? You may have heard of things along the lines of what's your buy box, what's your buying criteria. So we call that here at Esria your investor identity. So um, with that being said, I'm Mike Del Pre, Executive Director of the Arizona Real Estate Investors Association. We're live on Instagram, we're live on YouTube, so check us out wherever you're at. I'm going to take the next few minutes and I'm going to talk about a little longer than a few minutes. Drop your questions here on Instagram and YouTube. Drop your questions. We're going to talk about building your investor identity. What's your buy box? What's your buying criteria? Why is that beneficial? Why is that helpful to your business? So, drop your questions in. I'm executive director of the Arizona Real Estate Investors Association. We're based here in Phoenix, Arizona. We have chapters in northern Arizona, southern Arizona. So we have 17 events a month, over 200 events a year. You can always go to esria.org/calendar and come meet us and hang out. So today, like I said, investor identity. What is your investor identity? Do you have an investor identity? Um, Let me know what it is, right? So what do you think that is, right? Are you a wholesaler? Are you a fix and flipper? Are you a landlord? Are you a hard money lender? Are you a no buyer? What are you, right? So you got to know who you are. And there's a lot of benefits to knowing who you are. Maybe it's along the lines of helps you with your goals, right? Are you? I always like to say, are you? Do you want lumps of cash or streams of cash? So are you an active investor or are you a passive investor, right? So what are some active activities? So fix and flipping, wholesaling, something that you're just in the business a lot, right? You're making income constantly. Flippers and wholesalers, they're not even considered investors, right? So, or do you want something more passive? Landlording, lending, notes, and I would even say landlording isn't that passive either. Um, so first of all, so what are your goals, right? Are you trying to save money for retirement? Are you trying to quit your job? Are you trying to help your parents, medical bills, school loans? What are your goals? Why do you want to leverage real estate in order to be, to create? Why do you want to use real estate to hit these goals? So you got to kind of know what you're trying to accomplish first. Do you want to be active? Do you want to be passive? Also, a couple of things to think about are why is the reason real estate investing is ideal, right? Does anyone know what ideal means when it comes to real estate investing? Drop it in if you know. Right? Not everyone knows this. I wish I knew this when I was new to real estate. So five different reasons. Ideal. Real estate investing is ideal. Income, right? Money's coming in, like I said, through active or passive sources. Depreciation, right? So you can depreciate your assets and save. They say it's more about how it's not about how much you make, it's how much you keep, right? Can you pay the government less? So you're talking about depreciation. High income earners they can use assets to pay the government less taxes. um, Equity, right? So you get a loan from the bank, right? Say it's $100,000, and then you go get a tenant to live in that house and pay rent, and you take that rent from the tenant to pay the mortgage down. So the 100 grand is every year is going lower and lower and lower. So there, right there is you're building equity, right? So from 100 going down to zero, so it's going down. So that's the E. Then you hit A, which is appreciation, right? So it's also why we like real estate. And one thing I always say about appreciation is it's luck. It's like icing on the cake, right? Or it's the ice cream on the cake, can melt away at any time. So um, we don't count, we don't make our decisions on appreciation, but we'll take it over time if it's there. So think about that. So if your house is worth 100 grand when you bought it, it's now going up. It's traditionally, what, 3-4% a year nationwide. Every market's different. So now over time, right, you're building this appreciation and you're paying down the mortgage. So you're getting all this extra equity, right, that you have access to over time, which is amazing, which can change your life, which can allow you have, which will go into L, which is leverage. How the average person moves boulders is leverage. So you can take that money from that first rental property that you got And as you're building equity from you're paying down your mortgage and house becoming more valuable, you now could access that money, right? You could take that money and most importantly, leverage the bank, right? Leverage that equity to buy more property or invest in other projects or other businesses. So leverage is key. And just like everyone says, if you wanted to buy 100 shares of Apple today, you need 100% of the money. If you wanted to buy $100,000, $500,000 house today, depending on the loan program that you get and where you go, you can go anywhere from, well, now Zill's saying they have 1% down, but 3.5% down up to 25% down. You can leverage, you can buy a $100,000 asset with 25 grand or less. So it's huge. Leverage is key in real estate investing. We have heard of other people's money, other people's resources, other people's knowledge, other people's everything, right? So real estate's an ideal investment, and you got to understand why you're using it and what you're trying to achieve. What goals are you trying to achieve? So therefore, once you know your goals and you know your personal situation, how much time do you have to accomplish this investor identity per week? Maybe you work 9 to 5, maybe you have kids. I don't know your situation. How much time do you have? How much money do you have to allocate towards real estate investing? What kind of resources do you have? These are How much knowledge do you have, right? Are you experienced? Have you been doing this business for a few years? Do you know nothing, right? What kind of resources do you have right now? For instance, are you a banker or are you an engineer? What kind of skill sets do you have that you can leverage in the real estate business to help you go further, right? So you kind of want to compile all this information to help you create your investor identity. So I'm just going to check here on Instagram for some questions, and I need to get my chat here on Instagram. So once again, we're talking about your investor identity, building that investor identity, and the benefits of having that is huge. So first and foremost, when you have that clarity, and we'll just use the example of, hey, I want to buy and hold, right? So we're just gonna use that example. So you figured out what goals you have, how important real estate is, and how you're gonna leverage it. So you said, hey, I want passive income, I want cash flow coming every month, I want net $300 per property, and I want 10 properties, right? Or you want 20 property, whatever it may be, and you want to get in this game as a landlord. So you want to know things like, um, do you want to invest in single family homes? Do you want to invest in condos, right? Do you want to invest in mobile homes? Do you want to invest in multifamily? Do you want to what is it? What product or what asset do you want to use to generate that cash flow as a landlord, right? And there's different pros and cons per one, right? So if you go to townhouses and condos, there's going to be HOA that's going to eat into your profit, right? And HOAs never go down, so they're always going to be increasing over time, and you have to answer to somebody. So some people may not want to go own townhouse or condos in their portfolio. So that's kind of like the first part. So do you want properties in what type of neighborhoods? So you may have heard of A class, B class, C class, D class, right? Kind of makes sense. I won't go through every single one of them, right? So A is the best, D is the worst. Our mentor always would tell me, every Walmart, Target, or Nordstrom, they all sell black t-shirts. They all sell black shoes, just different quality and different pricing. So what neighborhood do you want to be in, right? So what type of neighborhood, and who do you want to serve as an investor? What clientele do you want to serve? Because if you're here in Phoenix, there's Scottsdale, Arizona, and then there's lower income areas, right? So Scottsdale is known to be luxury or high end, and then there's lower income areas. So you're not going to put stainless steel granite countertops in the lower end neighborhoods, right? Versus, I mean, I literally was talking to a newer investor the other day, and they were talking about putting laminate in a house in a nicer neighborhood, and that just not going to fly, right? So you are going to catch these. You got to know who you're serving. So once you know who you're serving, you'd put the right finishes, the right renovation, and serve that client properly. So what kind of neighborhood do you want to be in? What kind of house do you want to have? Do you want pools? Do you want garages, carports? Do you want block fences? these are all these types of things to think about. Do you want houses on corner lots? Do you want houses backing major roads? Do you want houses backing industrial, right? Or do you want just a regular 3-2 in the middle of a neighborhood, across street from a school, right? So all this plays in the factor of your investor identity. Um, and when you have that idea of what kind of investor you're going to be and the type of product that you want, it helps you a lot as you grow your business. So one thing that's going to help you with is focus, right? So you're going to get into a position, especially when you maybe newer to real estate and you're like, you watch one video here, it's like you need to be this type of investor. You watch another video, you need to do this type of strategy. It can get very distracting and very appealing, especially with you know a lot of this stuff online is a lot of sales. So it's like a lot of professional online marketers that sell real estate, that where they're very good. They know how you're thinking. They know what you're thinking about. They understand all the marketing behind it and psychology behind it. So they know what to tell you. So it could be I'm totally guilty of falling into that and trying out all these strategies. So, but you ultimately loop back around and figure out what you want to do, right? So now when you have deal flow, one, right, like if you're looking for deal flow, it's one of the most important things you need in your business is access to properties. So when you're looking for properties, now you can go out there and say, as a landlord, let's say you don't want to go direct to market, right, or direct to seller. So that's a whole nother business in itself. If you want to have a direct to seller campaign, totally can do it. More money, more time. It's a marketing machine. You should do it if you can, but otherwise it's going to help your marketing. If right, you're going to want to market to that property. You want to be known in that neighborhood. You can question. Make sure you got questions coming. Yeah, Daniel, I got to figure out where that's at. so so thank you very much. Do you have a project? Got it. So going back into deal flow, right? So one, if you know exactly what you're looking for, you can direct your marketing more clear. So I had a friend that used to have specific zip codes that they wanted to purchase in, and they would have their billboards. Now, this is obviously depending on the level you're at. This might not work for you, but he had billboards, right, all in that neighborhood. Bus stop signs, TV commercials. He would also do direct mail campaigns, and then he would also do cold calling. He would have bandit signs. He would just flood the zip code with his brand, his name, his face, his logo. So it's like when you decided, like, hey, I think I need to sell my house. He's gonna pop in your head, right? So he knew exactly what neighborhood. He didn't do this in every neighborhood all around the valley. He just did it specific neighborhoods to specific type of house to a specific group of people and with a specific message. So that helped him align his money and his marketing spend to that person and get better results. Now that's if you were going direct to owner. So real quick, 1 second here. Docs. So now think about how can that help out if you were doing to wholesalers and real estate agents, right? So you want to get your message out to the same people, just like we were talking about for your marketing direct to sellers. You want to talk to the wholesalers. You want to say, hey, wholesaler, I'm a cash buyer. I close quick. Also, real estate agents, I close quick, 10 days, 7 days, as is, where is, sight unseen, whatever it is that you do. You can now go to the marketplace and say, I like this zip code and this zip code. I like this crossroad and this crossroad, not past this street, not below this street. You can tell them exactly. That's going to make you sound even more thorough, like you know what you're doing and you know what you want. So, and think how easy that makes it, right? So you know these neighborhoods like the back of your hand. You know, all right, first the clarity, right? So going direct to seller, wholesalers, and real estate agents. Now everyone knows exactly what you want, so they're going to bring you what you want. And then when those deals that come to the table that have nothing to do with your investing criteria, your investor identity, or your buying criteria, or your buy box, now you can just push those to the side. It's that is one of the cons slightly, because you feel like you're missing out on opportunity, right? You're like, oh my God, that's a deal. It's kind of a deal, but I really don't know that area. So you get distracted, not just from the marketing and all the fancy shiny stuff online for education, but you also get distracted within your deals, right? So takes your eye off the prize of working on the properties that you want and then getting the properties that you want from people. So be careful. It does feel like you are missing out on deals, but truly, what you're doing is you're staying focused, and you're also you're you're dodging pitfalls, right? So it's like you might say, "Hey, this looks like a good deal. The numbers make sense." And you might go to a new part of town, or not saying you can't handle it, but hey, maybe there's just something you know. I've bought houses. I bought houses sight unseen where there's like septic tanks, and I'm like, oh shit, what's a septic tank, right? So, um, I've done that, right? And that might certain areas that might be less valuable. That might be less appealing to someone knowing that they have to pump that thing out every couple years, right? So, you just bump into things that you may not know. I remember, so I've done that. I bought houses sight unseen with septic tanks. I've also bought um, one thing I didn't know the first time I went years ago. I went to there's a 55 plus community here in town called Sun City, and I didn't know that the property taxes, right? There's not property taxes like every year. It's like a one time transfer fee. So every time you buy or sell the house in Sun City, it's like 3-4 grand. Um, I just went in, bought the house, got it under contract, put a non-refundable deposit, and then all of a sudden there's an extra $3,000-4,000 fee, at closing. That adds up, especially when something goes wrong in your renovations or whatever it may be. So that or just comes out of your profit. So um, understanding and building an investor criteria or investor identity and criteria is huge. It's going to keep you focused. It's going to help you not get distracted, right? You're going to feel like you're missing out on opportunities sometimes, but don't worry about it. And you're also going to avoid pitfalls or problems that may arise, like I said, like septic tanks or the property taxes I was unaware of. I'm just trying to go through my notes here. So if you got any questions on building your investor identity, I'm gonna look for these chats on where am I here live. So once again, Mike Del Pre, executive director of Vazria. Christopher, sorry for the lateness here. Question: I know I want to start off wholesaling, and I know you do not need a real estate license, but would it be better if I still try to get my real estate license or don't even waste my time? All right, great question. So here's my thoughts on your real estate license. Is it valuable? Yes. Is it useful? Yes. Um, can you get more business? Sometimes people get it. Sometimes people get it just for the MLS access, which can be huge, right? But now with so much technology and so much software, um, you can pull MLS data, right? Can you? Once again, it goes back to the distraction thing, right? So they're two different businesses. If you want to wholesale, it's marketing and sales. It's a business to run. You're selling. You have a certain type of service you provide. Can you? And as a real estate agent, once again, sales and marketing, right? Very similar, but it's different. You get a brokerage. You have different rules and regulations to abide by, and it's a different client. So can you? Once again, can you handle both? Probably at some level, right? But I'm saying if you're just getting started, you need to focus, right? Keep your eye on the prize. If you want to wholesale, wholesale. Once you get a few deals under your belt and you get your business down, you can get it. Whatever you start reaching your goals, you're making X amount a month or X amount of deals per month, or you went part time or quit your job. That's a different story, right? So get some experience under your belt before you're trying to figure out. Because I always say, it's like you here in Arizona, it's like 90 hours or I don't even know what it is, 90 hours of education. Then you got to study for the test and do a practice test and then the real test. And then you got to go find a brokerage and shop around for a brokerage, interview people, then hang your license. Fine, whatever. That's 100 hours. I'd rather see you spending talking to homeowners and writing offers. If you spent 100 hours studying the wholesale business, getting a coach, getting a mentor, going to your local REIA, networking, shaking hands, asking a million questions, then applying that knowledge, falling on your face, getting back up, learning from and getting mistakes under your belt and just keep falling down, getting mistakes. And these are mistakes that you'll never repeat again, right? If you did that for 90 hours, you'd probably have a deal, right? So get the experience. Great question, Chris. Get out there, pick one. Either way you go, they're both great, right? They're both in the real estate world. They're both going to be helpful. But if you want to get into wholesaling, start with wholesaling. Um, Go to asria.org/wholesale. I got an ebook on there with tons of information. Don't know where you're at in that world, but yeah, pick one, stick with it, get some experience. Then you can start combining. Because overall, where I'm at is as an investor, 12 years in the business, over 700 transactions, rental portfolio, Airbnbs, flips, raised millions of dollars, all that good stuff. I could do my marketing, right, or especially as a wholesaler. Um, Leads come from all over the place, and when you're just networking and you're in the mix, you get all types of opportunities. That skill set of being a wholesaler has allowed me to think like different strategies. I've just to be a successful wholesaler. I had to understand how a fix and flipper thinks and analyzes deals. I had to understand how a landlord analyzes deals. I had to understand how a hard money lender analyzes deals, right? I had to understand how mobile home buyers analyze deals, right? These are all just different products, right? So the more a wholesaler forced me to do all that. Um, so wholesaling is great. It's a great way to start. We got to go all in, pick one, stay focused. Uh, what else I got here? Any questions so far? Any more? Great question, Chris. Instagram, we're still here. Uh, Once again, if you're looking to get started in real estate, check out your local RIA. I don't know what city you're in, so you're a licensed real estate investing association under the National RIA umbrella is where you're going to get the legit information. Here in Arizona, we represent the whole state. So we have a meeting coming up September 11th on Monday night at Venue 8600 in Scottsdale, Arizona. Doors open at 5:15. The event starts at 5:45. We're bringing in the Arizona Water Institute. You may have heard of the challenges Arizona has with water. So we'll be talking of giving out the pros and cons and the solutions and the challenges that Arizona faces with the Water Institute. So they're going to do a presentation in the beginning. That sounds like I'm far away. Thanks for the heads up, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I just got my phone just kind of hanging up over here, so I appreciate that. So first we start off with the Water Institute presentation, and then what we'll do is go from Tina Tambor. So if you're in the real estate world in Arizona, you know who Tina is. She's going to be giving us our market update with the investor twist. I know she does a lot of real estate agent stuff, so she always puts the fix and flip and the landlord perspective into all her analysis. And then from there, we are education. We always have an education piece. What's up, Chris? Well said. Thanks. State of Alabama. Awesome, man. Cool. Well, thanks for chiming in, man. Give us a follow, a like. We got more information every day. We're dropping new YouTube stuff now. Um, so then from there, we have Adrian Smoot coming in from. He's nationwide speaker, educator on mobile home investing. So as we know, we have affordability issue here in Arizona, and there's a lot of mobile homes on vacant land and in parks. Two things I'm looking at. Way I'm looking at mobile homes, it's a great way to help the community with affordability, right? And there's been some laws that have been passed to help keep mobile homes in place because a lot of larger developers are trying to take those out. And then also we will be talking about great ROIs, lower price points, lower price points. It's more of an untapped market. So Adrian's gonna come in. He's going to talk about, why you should invest in real estate. And at our monthly meeting, we have 200 investors there. You get to network with our business associates, our contractors, our attorneys, our insurance agents, property managers, you name it. They're all there for you to meet and talk with. So Brandon, yeah, if you're in Phoenix area, it's next Monday at Venue 8600 in Scottsdale. So you can go to asria.org. On the front page, there'll be a pink bar. You can just click that, and it'll just show you how to register and tell you more about the meeting. And if you're in the Tucson area, we'll be down in Tucson doing that the next day as well. So it's our main meeting is the second Monday of every month. Um, yeah, man. You know what? I lost my I lost my thing that holds up the phone, so I have it leaning on a computer, so you probably hear the computer, man. So but Venue 8600 Monday night in Scottsdale is the main event. Mobile homes, Tina Tambor, and the water issue, an update on the water issues Arizona has. Thank you, man. Thanks for letting me know. Also, then we'll be down in Tucson doing that as well. Um, So what I was talking about today was your investor identity. So we went over a lot of things. I'm just gonna pull up my notes to make sure I covered it all. Um, yeah, it's in short. Do you have an investor identity? Let me know if you do. Do you have any questions about it? You just want to know who you are as an investor. What type of houses are you buying? Where are you buying them? What kind of renovations are you okay with? Right? Are you okay with? Do you just want lipstick? Do you want full guts? Are you doing value adds? You need to know all this because this is going to help you communicate it to your lead flow, your marketing. It's going to help your wholesalers, your real estate agents, right? It's going to help you build your team, right? You know, you're going to have different contractors sometimes from lipstick to value adds. So you need to know what type of renovations you're doing, what neighborhoods they're in, so you can get the proper deal flow. You can stay focused and know exactly what you're getting into. You can make faster decisions. We're one of our members, Cecil. We were interviewing him today on the Azria show, and he great point. It's just like sometimes when you're buying wholesale deals, you got to go sight unseen, especially if it's a hot market. And if you don't know that neighborhood and you don't know that layout of that house or what's normally involved or what it takes to renovate that house, you're not going to be able to make a quick decision if you don't have your contractor or they can't get over there, your inspector, whoever you use. The people that specialize in what they do and know exactly what they want and where they want to buy it at, they have that advantage to be like, I know that neighborhood, I know that street, I already got a couple houses over there. I'll buy it at X. I know my numbers, I know what's going to cost to renovate, and you're going to get beat out on a deal. So, investor identity, build your investor identity. It's huge. So that's what I got for today. I appreciate everyone on Instagram and YouTube. We talked about investor identity, so give it a watch if you just jumped in. Um, any last questions? I'm gonna sign off. Cool. Appreciate everybody. Thanks for being on here. Talk to you later.